Chair.
And you guys don't have, will they be able to hear if we don't record?
What?
If they don't use that, you think they'll be able to hear okay? Can you guys,
Do you want me to?
I don't want to be a jerk, but
It's fine.
can you guys, if you guys like would just not do the,
Angela, it's not live.
no, I was gonna say it's not gonna be live, but if they don't have, side conversations, if there's not side conversations, I bet they'll be able to hear fine. Is that okay? Can we, if you guys need to say something to your neighbor, can you guys go out there for me? This is not gonna last all night, but I promise you it'll be worth your time.
Scoot back.
And I'm gonna sit over here so I'm not in
So
it.
you don't use the microphone?
No.
Okay then.
So they're not gonna be sitting here. Hang on a second, let me get my list. My printer wasn't working when I first started this, so. Okay, so this is just really casual. I might be blocking you guys some, but I don't want to be in the camera. You're blocking me, but
She's seen me before.
You guys might have to move some. Okay, so I've already introduced who these two young ladies are, but for the camera, I will say, we have Director Angela McElwain, and we have Star Director Catrina Brunk that have been kind enough to share with us this evening. So the first question that I have for Angela is, how were you first introduced to Scentsy?
I was actually getting my oil changed and heard about it from someone's husband. It was the first thing I'd ever heard about them.
So what was the exchange? How did Scentsy come up in the oil change?
Well, he was telling me about it, and I love stuff that smells good. So it was just kind of brilliant. His wife had signed up to sell it, and yeah, I had to try it. So yeah, that's how.
So then he gave you obviously his wife's contact information
And I went to smell all of the testers, and I was so overwhelmed that I decided just to sign up because I couldn't make my decision.
Wow. Okay. Well, then we wish we all had a few Angelas in our life. Okay, we can be hopeful because it sounds like they exist. Okay, how about you, Catrina? How were you first introduced to Scentsy?
I had a friend at church that was selling it, and she had a book, and I took a book and bought a nightlight and a bar of pomegranate ice. And that was my first one. So that was my first introduction to it.
So this next question will not apply to Angela since she was an eager beaver, but this one's for you, Catrina. How long after using Scentsy did you decide to join?
It was probably a year. I love the nightlight we bought, so as soon as I got it home, I called her and I hosted a party, and then I ended up hosting 2 parties over that year.
Oh, wow.
So,
And
there's
did she
basket parties.
attempt to flip you at any point, or?
No, she
Okay.
just took the basket parties.
Okay, all right, very good. Okay, so Angela, my next question was, how did you select your sponsor? Obviously, you didn't select your sponsor. You just kind of went with it because this person introduced you to Scentsy, and so you just joined like right then. That's awesome. And how about you, Peggy? How did you select your, or Peggy? Sorry, Katrina, short hair, sorry. Just think I'll get you up there next. Okay, Katrina, how did you select your sponsor?
I went with her based on loyalty. We actually met several people, Tracy being one of them, over that year, but went with her just based on loyalty, not on anything else.
Yeah, I'm not going to take that personally.
No, I mean, it was strictly friendship, I promise.
You know, but that brings up a really good point, to be honest with you, because if you develop relationships and you work to develop relationships with people, when they are asked by someone like me to join the business, their first thought should be, you know, I do want to sell Scentsy, but I've known such and such for so long. I know she's doing it. She sold me my first thing. She's always taken good care of me, even though you didn't know at the time she wasn't trying to flip you.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm just kidding.
I didn't
My
understand
point is that if you take care of your customers and you treat people good and you develop relationships, there will be loyalty on who people choose who they want to do business with, they choose who they want to join with. So that's actually a very good point, and I don't take it personal. It makes me, I hope that the same happens for me when I ask people to join my team, but they don't in that moment, and then a week later their, next door neighbor says my cousin sells it, they think, I'm going to go with that Tracy gal. So that should work itself out. Okay, so Angela, how did you work your business in your first 15 days as a consultant?
I actually just signed up for a hobby. I didn't sign up to make any extra money or anything like that, so it was just fun for me. But people bought it like crazy. They just loved it. And so I just went with it.
So did you earn the shooting star?
Yes, definitely.
And what was that like back in our day?
Not like it is now.
No, it's not fair.
It's
Wine,
exciting.
it's wine.
We'll go over to the number anyway.
I know. I I know, but we got all warmers. Back when we used to get it, you just got, like, I believe 12 full, they had full-size warmers is what they called it.
Ours was 10 warmers.
Yeah, 10
It was
warmers.
$300, but it was 10 $30 warmers.
Yeah, so, and you didn't pick, you just got what you got, but you guys now, if you guys are new, just so you know, it's awesome because you get a variety of things. It's a lot more beneficial for new team members and new consultants, so.
Yeah,
make
the
sure you
variety,
take
they did
advantage
good with the variety.
Yeah, it's way good. Okay, how about you, Catrina? How did you do your first 15 days?
My sister took my testers and took them to work, and then I took them to work, and we ended up putting them together, and we had about $700 that I put in on day 15.
Wow.
Last minute.
Very good.
And hit my shooting star.
Excellent, very good. Okay, now here's the next one for you, Angela. How did you work your business the first 70 days? Did you achieve any of the sensational start levels?
I did level 2. I could have done more, but I was kind of like lost, I guess. I remember one day I actually called Tracy because she had sent me, we're not going to go over what we talked about, but just saying. So she had sent her business card with just a letter that was typed out for everybody. She signed it saying, if I ever needed help to let her know. And I called her and we had a conversation about what to warm at my launch party. I just said it.
It was absolutely, it was absolutely adorable because I didn't know her at all. I had no idea who she was, and she was under someone else. However, I remember I was in my closet, like getting ready to go somewhere, and she's like, "I'm getting ready to have my launch party. I don't know what to warm," and I'm thinking, well, who is your sponsor, and how have you not had this conversation? I mean, I could just tell that she needed some.
It's
assistance.
so bad. It was bad.
So it was my first introduction to Angela, and I'm sure glad it happened because it's been great.
But no, the 70 days was good. I could have done more had I known more, I guess. I would recommend for anybody in the future to actually get on, look at stuff yourself. You don't need to ask everybody else questions. Of course, if you're on my team, I don't mind answering them. But, I could have found out a lot more information on my own.
And we didn't have Facebook groups.
Right.
We did have our workstation, which had a training center, however, not to the degree we have now. Certainly didn't have all the access to YouTube and things because we're dinosaurs.
Yeah,
You
it was
joined in
different back
2009?
December of 2009.
2009, I'm 2008. So, it was a little different then. We didn't have all the same resources and tools. Katrina, when did you join?
February of 11.
Okay, 2011.
Yeah.
And how about your first 70 days? How did you work the business?
I hit level 1. I think it was just a random orders.
Were you doing parties, or you said random orders?
I didn't do a home party for a long time. It was probably a year. No, it was just collecting orders. It was just people coming up, me telling them that, hey, I'm selling this, which I'll explain that later. Just telling them that I was selling it, they smelled it, they ordered, I was done. And I hit a little over level 1. It wasn't anything, just level 1.
Angela, did you have any experience in direct sales before?
No, nothing.
So what was your previous business experiences?
0. Tracy used to make fun of me. I had a great big flip phone.
In love, always in love.
She made fun of me I did the Just For Her Expo with her, and she's like, yeah, you're not going to have that phone for long. And I was like, yeah, I am. I mean, I can rough it. It's a rock. So, I don't know. Things have definitely changed.
Yes, they have changed. Yes. How about you, Katrina? Had you done direct sales before?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little about that?
Since he was my 5th attempt at direct
Wow.
sales. I did Pampered Chef, Avon, Creative Memories twice, and I failed at every single one of them. So, like I was saying a minute ago, when I brought Cincy home and said, okay, I'm going to do this, my coworkers, my family are like, ugh. Again, because it was another company that I was signing up for that, I did for 2 or 3 months and let it go. And
So what do you think was the difference? Why did you stay with Cincy?
I was so tired of failing. It was that one, it was almost like I was trying to prove them wrong. I had so many people tell me, because they never told me through the other 4 companies, you're going to fail again. This time they told me, you're not going to do it, you're going to fail, and it was almost just like I just wanted to prove them wrong. And so once I got past I got my first recruit person, then it was like, oh, I really can do this. But I didn't intend on making it a company. I didn't intend on having a team. I mean, there's a lot of people on my team that I didn't plan on having. And it just happened, so.
Very good. Okay, so Angela, how soon did you start sponsoring consultants?
Pretty soon. It was fun.
Within your first month, second month, like,
I would say probably in my first month I did.
and where did you find your consultants? How did you find them?
Home parties. I actually, like, if I went to my workstation, because I did this for somebody, like, last year, so, like, the first maybe 20 or 22 recruits I had were just people I knew or who knew somebody. After that, events. So I could tell you what event I was at, who I met there, but the first, I would say 20 or 22 was all definitely people. Just, yeah, from having parties and that kind of thing. Because I just always, I got it from you, I just asked them if they'd ever thought about signing up and starting their own Scentsy business. So I kind of like will laugh at it or whatever, it needs to happen. It's just still planting the seed. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Very good. How about you, Catrina?
My first one was August of 11, right after convention that we went to in Fort Worth. And it was kind of a shock. I did a home, that was my first home party, it was in August, and I did
Wow, so there's something to say about these, that you say about these home parties, isn't there?
Yeah, I did it, and the next week she signed up. So I kept the party, but she did it later
Right.
because she decided to.
Don't even.
Yeah, I got a few stories about that too. Okay, so a few people in the room. All right. At what point did you decide you wanted to do more with the business, Angela?
I was always pretty good in sales. 2,000 was my goal because I got that extra bonus. But selling $2,000 and making $600 really didn't float my boat. So we had another conversation and you told me I needed to recruit. So that's what I started doing. So yeah, it was just, not enough money for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I know everybody has different goals and different needs and whatever, but I wanted more.
Very good. How about you, Katrina?
I think it was Fort Worth Convention. I think that was, seeing Scentsy to me was just this little bitty, there was a few people, if we did have meetings, I wasn't here. Not saying that's a good idea, I'm just saying I was not here. To me, it was her and I, my sponsor and I, and our director, but that's all I saw. And to see all of these people doing the same thing and to hear their success stories from the stage, which was amazing, that really showed me that you really can do something with this. So that's what got me to get my first recruit. I went home and showed her, this is what you can do, and this is what they're coming out with. And I think they were launching something right then, but I can't remember. I think it was Moana.
Sorry.
No, it was very little things.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe they weren't. Maybe it was just something there, I can't remember. And I went back on my notes and I don't remember now either. But there was something about that convention that I came home and I said, this really is a really good company, and this, I met all of these people, and this is what we can do with this. And I did it at her party, and that's why I think that's why she went. She's not on my team anymore, so I don't know.
Well, and that's real too.
Yeah.
So when, so you had a team member, which obviously you had multiple by this time, that joins, and then they decide not to join. Do you take that personal?
No, her life needed other things. I might every once in a while if somebody tells me I just really can't do it, and knowing the dynamic of people that can do it, the word I can't, yes, I take that part. But at the same time, if their life decides that they can't do it anymore, then they can't do it anymore. I don't take it personal towards me. I just think that they could try harder.
And my standard thing is when I get those similar messages or whatever, I always say, hey, no problem, take care of your family, whatever their needs are at that time, but, Scentsy and I are always going to be here, so when you're ready to come back, shoot me a message and let's restart this thing and get you going.
And they all know
And,
that, they can come back at any time, and that one I've had a conversation with several times, but it's not working for her right now, so, she buys for me, so that's okay too.
I picked up 2 bag parties last week and they had both been on my team previously.
Yeah, they still buy
That's
for me.
okay.
They buy for me monthly, but,
So Angela, what was your first Scentsy family reunion experience like?
I was the only one there on my team. I got talked into going. I thought I was way too new to go. And it was really fun. My husband and kids went, though. I don't recommend that. Husband's okay, but not kids, not going to the reunion. So I was pulled in directions. You see what I'm saying? It was fun, though. Like she was saying about reunion, getting to see all the other people. I really felt the same way. It was crazy. But I remember sitting there, people going up on stage, and I was like, wow, Like that would never, like I never even dreamed anything like that would ever happen. But it's just, I mean, I actually felt that way the very first meeting I went to, because there was like a whole big room of people, and it was like a month after I'd signed up, and I was like, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, I think it's nice to see other people who are doing what you do and see what they've made of it.
Okay, so, Angela, and some of this make it, I mean, you know, I did tell them ahead of time, some of this may get personal, but it's because we love them and we know that by them sharing stuff with us, it's gonna help you guys as well.
I'm thinking now I should have read what you sent me.
So what,
You didn't.
I'm
I
busy.
an hour.
so what obstacles or barriers have you faced during your journey?
Gosh, let's see. My sponsor was not as into her business as I was. And so she still worked it and she still did fine, but I needed more. And so I found other ways, like Christy, for instance, has always helped me from day one. Like anything I ever needed, she'd help. Tracy was right there. Bryn Marie, just basically not having the support, I guess, that I needed. Like, I actually think if it weren't for them, I would have quit. And I'm not a quitter, so that's kind of a big thing to say, because it's just not me at all. But I really needed help. And so I guess, like, if you're on my team, for instance, you've heard me say, call, text, email me anytime. I genuinely mean that, because I never want anybody to feel how I felt. And I'm going to be honest and tell you, too, I probably just required too much. You know what I mean? I had too many questions. I had never done direct sales before. I had a box, big phone. I mean, heck, I didn't know what I was doing. It gets worse. I didn't have Facebook. I didn't have email. I was like kept under a rock, I guess. Seriously.
Well, and you know, and Angela says that, but you know, honestly, I feel like Angela and I were very similar in the sense that we had both been stay-at-home moms, and we were really good at that. But we did not have the outside world experience like some of you who have worked, you know, have professions and careers or have been in other direct sales companies. I mean, the thought of putting an order, I had full-blown anxiety attack.
Darren helped me.
Oh my gosh, you know,
I
how am I
can do
going to do
it.
this? So I think when Angela says that is that she really, truly, I mean, Excel, like me, Word, I mean, all those things she's had to like figure out because she's running an organization now. How many's in your organization?
I guess it's 150.
She has an organization of 150 people. So she could have just said, I can't handle this and quit. Or she could say, I'm going to have to figure something out because I got to communicate with these people. I got to support these people. And because she didn't have a leader that did incentives or that sent her, you know, a happy birthday card or that said, wow, you did really good this month in sales, she has had to find ways and make it a priority to figure out what do I need to learn so that I can do a better job. And for that reason, she's a phenomenal leader, So if you guys are sitting in this room or you're watching this and you're like, oh, I can relate to that one, then guess what? All of those lessons and all of those things you didn't get or don't feel like you're getting, that's what's going to make you be the leader that you didn't have. And so there's lessons in that, and they're going to make you a stronger business owner, and you're going to have a phenomenal team. So you have to keep pushing forward.
With that being said, if you feel that way too, go up. There's always people to help, And sometimes, in all honesty, people don't like click. Like, for whatever reason, I'm lucky I don't really feel like I have that problem with anything. Except for that one right there. But I'm serious, like sometimes it doesn't always work. Like I'm not sure I could work with her all day and then. You know what I mean? I mean, you never know, right?
Oh. That's funny.
But what I'm saying is go up. It doesn't matter. Just go up. Everybody's got different ideas. They've got different experiences. And a lot of times new people, like they think they have nothing to offer. We can still learn from them. You know? I mean, everybody does different stuff.
And then personally, have you had to overcome any challenges or have any issues?
Managing family and Sensi. Husbands kind of get left out. Maybe a little annoyed.
How did you overcome that? What have you done? What are the things that you've done to make that
His
better?
favorite dinner. It's the little things, seriously.
But he is
Tell him
very
he'll never
involved.
have to drive me back to Georgia again.
He is very involved, though.
Yeah, he actually, when I had like what I felt like was no one in the beginning, which I really had you guys, but he was very supportive.
Okay.
But he also was worried. And I'm telling you guys everything. So I had like a cleaning fetish, so he was super excited that I got to do it because he would yell at me for cleaning the bathroom. And he told me I was going to wear the finish off the hardwood floors. I mean, that was my life. That's all I did. I didn't know anything else. But no, he's always been really supportive about it. And he's happy. He loves the free trips, and leadership are his favorite, actually, even though it costs.
Yes,
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
Okay, and how about you, Catrina? What obstacles and barriers have you faced during your journey?
I also didn't have a sponsor that really helped. I don't want to, I'm not going to go there. My biggest thing was not knowing what to do next and not really realizing I could go up.
And Catrina had a different director.
Yeah, I
So
did.
she had a director between me and her,
Yeah.
which typically, and if you're in that situation, that means if you reach up, then you can call me at any time. But if you have a director under me, you're not going to get emails from me, phone calls from me, messages from me, because you're part of that director's team. If you initiate with me, you can talk to me as much as you want, but I don't overstep leadership or stewardship boundaries. So in this case, I didn't know that Catrina needed more help, and she didn't know that she could reach up for help. So she had a sponsor that was, was just what she was.
It was a hobby for her.
And she had a director that was not super actively involved as well.
Right.
Therefore, she was just floundering. But how did you, and look, how big is your group
We have
now?
150 today.
150 in your group, and how many directors do you have in your downline? And 2 directors in your downline.
Yeah.
So would it have been easier to quit or to keep going? You
Well,
couldn't get help from your sponsor. You weren't getting much help from your director.
I also had a non-supportive husband, so I didn't have what Angela had. I
He
do.
was not supportive. That surprises me.
No, not from the beginning. Our biggest thing was we didn't have the extra money, and I kept spending more of it. So, I was working. I was working a full-time job, but I was working a full-time job. I had 3 kids, and I was trying to do this in the middle, and so I was never home. I don't cook, so I couldn't cook anything.
Okay,
No.
sorry.
So I couldn't just cook his favorite meal because I don't cook. And so it was like taking me away, but at the same time, I didn't do parties, so it was just me being distracted. And it was me spending money that, we didn't have. And actually convention that year when Orville said, don't spend family money on Scentsy, spend Scentsy money on family, that was kind of like a kick in the pants. Because that was 2012, so it took me a year to realize that. He's been supportive since probably 12 or 13. Yeah, probably 13. So, and right now, he will do anything. He will drive to events, he will go spend an entire weekend at a home show.
And
or
so do your
a
boys.
fair.
Options,
My
yeah.
boys are right there, my youngest was like 4 when we started, so.
And you no longer have a full-time job?
I am staying at home to basically carpool my children because their schedules are crazy. And honestly, looking at it now, I don't know how I would do it with a full-time job. I obviously was slacking off on my team, and I'm sorry. I know that there is no way I took care of them before I didn't have a job because I actually am able to take care of them now and answer questions and do a little bit of Facebook Live when I get to it. But it's definitely changed having a more supportive husband and an awesome team and knowing a little bit more of where I can go if I need it and do it on my own.
Well, and I think there's a couple points I want to bring up with that. Number one is there's no magic perfect director or leader. And the reality is the majority, most superstar directors still hold down full-time jobs.
Right.
So it's really hard, whether it's Scentsy or not. I'm sure you guys all have that mom that you're like, seriously, we just dropped off our kids and she looks like she just came off a model, off the cover of a magazine as a model. You hate those people, and then they're nice, so then you really hate them. They're nice and they're pretty and they always look put together, And then you go into someone else's house and their house is like always immaculate and you're like the angels of the world, like, oh my gosh, I certainly can't stand her, but she's nice and she's pretty and she has a phenomenally clean house. You always are comparing yourself, and the same is true, like Catrina said. I have no doubt that Catrina was doing, if you were to read the Scentsy standards, everything she was supposed to do as an upline leader. I have absolutely no doubt. But when you compare that to maybe Superwoman over here, whose entire life and universe is her Scentsy world and making handmade cards for everyone in her downline, okay, that's not real for most of us. But, you know, when you see that and you're comparing yourself, so for those of you that have an upline director that may or may not be amazing or fabulous, you also need to realize they're real humans. Most of them work jobs, most of them have children, spouses, they could have illnesses, disabilities. I mean, the list is endless. They're just like you. So be supportive, be helpful, but also don't be afraid, like they both said, to reach up whenever you need help. Another thing that I think is very interesting about Catrina's situation, and I'm not even sure I'm going to get it all right. However, so Catrina she joined under her sponsor. Let's just say that person's name is Sue. She joined under Sue. Sue decided she didn't want to sell Scentsy anymore. How many people were on Sue's team?
Oh, jeez, I was going to look at those numbers.
Just guess.
I think 25.
Okay, Sue had 25 people. She didn't want to do it anymore.
I think that included mine, though.
But yeah, it was still in her down.
Yeah.
So she had 25 people. She didn't really want to sell it anymore. She never really had done much except just casually sell. She wasn't supporting her team, had no interest in making this a full-time position. So the conversation came up, Catrina, I would be willing to transfer my team to you if we can get Scentsy to approve it and go through all the finality that Scentsy requires to do a transfer. So Catrina did that. And I know, you know, that's a good thing to have someone who wants the team to take care of them, so that was really good. So that took place, and that was fabulous. And then she had her director, who could not be a kinder, if you've ever met her, you can't help but love her. You would want her to be one of your go-to favorite human beings. If you could have time with her, she's a phenomenal person. However, again, her Scentsy business was down here on the list of her priorities. And she realized that for several years she'd been a Scentsy director and had not been maintaining any of the Scentsy standards as required as a Scentsy director. But because everyone loved her so much, no one wanted to complain to compliance about it. They just went with the flow, went with the motions. And me and her had had several conversations, and finally the day came where she said, you know what, I just want to sell Scentsy. I don't want to be a leader anymore because I'm not being a leader. I haven't been a leader for a long time. So she decided to take she decided to transfer her team to someone in her downline. And Catrina was the only one actively working the business and that had been taking care of any of their people. So again, Catrina went through the transfer process per corporate and a lot of paperwork, a lot of conversations, and Catrina then, these are lessons that I just want you guys to hear and know, because you're going to hear this stuff as your journey expands. So Catrina then assumed that director's ID number and all of her history. What Catrina was at one point is no more. Like her ID number went by the wayside, the one that she assumed from her sponsor went by the wayside. Now she became that director's ID number and all of her history. Does that make sense to people? People would say, well, gosh, that must be nice, Catrina. You got it like really good that you got like handed a director team. Do you remember some of our phone conversations when all this was happening?
Yeah.
And did I tell you it was going to be easy and this was so amazing and wonderful and you just had it made?
No, and we had 46 when I took the director on our team. I do remember that, the number.
45, well, let's see, 40
It would have been 44, not counting me and her, because it was 40.
There were 44 people that had not heard a word from their director in some time. Do you think they were really happy? Hadn't received a birthday card, hadn't received a good job, you sold, you know, $100, $200, whatever that my case may be. They were not real happy people. And so I told Catrina, you can do it, but it's going to take a lot of effort and work on your part. And half of them were in another part of the state.
They still are.
Yes.
We're still a big chunk in
yes.
the state.
So how did you, that's a huge obstacle to overcome. You were pretty much set up to, people on the outside would say, wow, must be nice. But in reality, you were almost set up to fail. How did you make that transition successful?
I reached out to them and told them, my director and I both wrote a letter, and she explained her situation, what was going on, and why she was stepping down. And then I explained basically, hi, I'm Catrina. I'm going to be your director, and this is who I am. And basically gave them like a background of my family, and then a background of my business. Told them that, I may not be the best of anything. I'm literally just going to try to build this up to something that we haven't had. And so those letters went out to everybody, and then we had it wasn't a Zoom call, but it was a phone call with Tracy. with all of us, and just basically, and then me,